Welcome back to another video on Influential Sports, and today I'll be discussing the drama, whatever you want to call it, between Angel Reese and Candace Parker. So this has been an interesting topic. I think a lot of things have been taken out of context to make Candace Parker look like a hater, and I don't even think she was necessarily wrong. I think you there's two ways you can look at it. You can look at it as Candace Parker giving constructive criticism, which I think she did, and what she has done with Angel Reese. Then Shaq, he said something about it, like leave Angel Reese alone, but she didn't say nothing negative about her. So that's where I kind of get confused. Like the lines are very blurred on social media. A lot of the stuff that some of these WNBA players have been taken out of context. Even Kelsey Plum with the Caitlin Clark thing, they tried to take some of her statements out of context when it wasn't like that at all. But I'm gonna stick on the topic of this video with Candace Parker, with Angel Reese. Candace Parker in her career was a two-time MVP, a seven-time All-Star, won 3 rings, was only won one Finals MVP, two-time block champion, one-time assist champion as a center, which is very impressive. 3-time rebound champ, defensive player of the year, rookie of the year, attend all WNBA teams, 2 all defensive teams, averaged 16 points, 8.5 rebounds, and 4 assists per game throughout her WNBA career. So she had a great WNBA career, one of the greatest ever, probably in most people's top 5 when it comes to who's the greatest WNBA players of all time. So I find it hard to believe that she's jealous of Angel Reese. I just think that's a fake narrative because some of her statements have been taken out of context, and some people aren't showing the whole thing or providing the full reasoning to why she placed Angel Reese where she did on that tier list. Now, do I agree with her placement? No, but I don't think Candace Parker said what she said out of hate or out of spite for Angel Reese, which I'm going to get into the tier list. So the context of the tier list, she's doing an interview with Complex, the YouTube channel, and they present her a tier list with 10 players. You got S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier. And she didn't put anybody in D tier out of these 10 players. And these are 10 very good players. These are 10 great players in the W. Random tier list, they just gave it to her on the spot. So she ain't had no time to prepare for this. So everything she said came off the dome in this interview. In S tier, she put Nafisa Collier, who was leading the MVP race this year, having a phenomenal season. Led the Lynx all the way to the finals last year, which they lost in 5. She also put Aja Wilson there, who just won MVP, as having another great season. Obviously, the Aces aren't doing so well due to the trade of Kelsey Plum, but doing it all on both sides of the ball. And she also put Breanna Stewart there, who's out with an injury now. I'm pretty sure this was filmed before the injury that she just suffered a few days ago. But with her past throughout these past few seasons and what she's done this decade, explains her placement for Breanna Stewart. So S tier, perfectly fine with that. Kelsey Plum and Sabrina Ionescu landed in A tier because she felt like Kelsey Plum finally stepping up as the first option. Now that she's in that role to do that, she's been very impressed with that. Sabrina, best shooter in the W, and sidekick to Breanna Stewart, but it's kind of like a 1A, 1B thing over there. So it's kind of like pick your poison. So pretty good reasoning for putting them in A tier. She also had Caitlin Clark in A tier and said she would put her in S. She just needs a few more years under her. Now, some people might disagree with this, but I understand where Candace was coming from, putting Clark in A tier, being a really good shooter. Obviously, the percentages are down this year. She's had some injuries here and there, but she's looking at what she's done this year and last year, her impact on the team and what she's done for the Fever, how she's helped the viewership of women's basketball of the WNBA. So putting Clark in A tier makes sense, and she's a great playmaker. People might say, well, oh, she leads in turnovers. That doesn't take away from being a very good playmaker. You can, especially as a point guard, you're going to have a lot of turnovers. That's how basketball works. A lot of point guards have a lot of turnovers. In B tier, she put Arike Ogunbowale and Paige Beckers, the duo in Dallas. Perfectly fine with that. Obviously, Paige just got into the league in her rookie season. Arike's been struggling, but she's still a good player. So that's the B tier. Then in C tier, she put Cameron Brink and Angel Reese. Now, people disagree with this. Even I disagree with this because not that Cameron Brink is in C tier, but because Angel Reese is in the same tier as Cameron Brink. Because Angel Reese is definitely better than Cameron Brink. And that doesn't mean that she's bad. Cameron Brink is a very solid player. You still don't know what you're going to get out of her, but with her missing so much time, I think it's kind of crazy to put Brink and Angel Reese on the same tier. Me personally, I would put Reese on the B tier because I agree with everything that Candace said aside from where she placed Angel Reese. Because I would put Reese on B tier with Paige and Enrique, and obviously you can only judge Paige off of what you've seen this year. But with Enrique struggling, I feel like Reese is in that. Not that she's better than her yet, but she's definitely making that case. And you could put Angel Reese in that B tier along with Paige and Enrique. At least that's what I would do personally. Because Cameron Brink isn't a D tier player, and I'm glad that she didn't put anybody in the D tier, which she could have. She could have been disrespectful and did that, but she didn't. She put Reese in the C tier. With me saying that she's in the B tier, it's not like this enormous difference from the placement. I just personally think she's a little better than C tier. I think she should be in the B tier. And when she placed Angel Reese, she said to be above, you must have the ability to carry your team, being a first or second option. Fantastic at her role with this offensive rebounding, and showed and demonstrated growth. So for the people saying that she didn't acknowledge Angel Reese improvement, that's a lie, because she said that she showed and demonstrated growth. She said that. Now, in the ability to carry a team, I don't think she's really. Now, in this situation, now I think this is where it gets tricky for me with Candace Parker with her reason, and she provided a reason. It's not just like she just placed Angel Reese there just because. Is she great? Is rebounding one of her roles? Yes, it's one of her roles. She's a very good rebounder. She didn't take that away from her. She didn't say, and then in the off season, she said, and this was a different video a while back. She said she's got to figure out what she's going to be great at on offense. But let me get back to the rebounding thing. The rebounding. Angel Reese is she's definitely one of the best rebounders in the league, even through these 2 years in the W. Has Angel Reese displayed being a first or second option? She hasn't really had that opportunity. Well, last year she was the second option in Chicago behind Candace Carter, who suffered an injury last season, and they ended up missing the playoffs. And I think Reese played most of the games last year, but I know Candace Carter had an injury, and that's what really stopped them from getting to the playoffs, with her being out, with them missing their primary ball handler, who they're still missing this season. I think Carter is more fit for a first option role, and now she's just out the W, which is so weird to me, because there is a few teams that could use Candace Carter at this point in the season. Chicago was one of them. I think Reese's role would be better as a second option, because she shouldn't have to be the primary ball handler. Her assist that went up to 3.7, but I shouldn't expect that out of Angel Reese. I want her to get easy buckets in the paint and rebound, close out possessions on the defensive end. Like, she's become a solid defender and improved. Like, Candace Parker acknowledged her improving. Now, carrying a team, being a first or second option, that's really opinion-based. Everybody has their own opinion. Like, some people might disagree, and this isn't hate. This is just her opinion, because a lot more people have said way worse things about Angel Reese, and that has been hate. But Candace Parker, she's looking at this from, she's played the game. She's just trying to analyze the best that she can, and she don't see it with Angel Reese at the moment. And that could change. It's like, I don't know, but I think she should have looked at it. In my opinion, this team isn't set up for Angel Reese to be a first option, because they have no direction. The Chicago Sky have no direction, and it's not a fault of Angel Reese or anybody on that Chicago team. That's just Chicago Sky's fault. There's no direction with this team. Probably the most directionless team in the W, aside from the Connecticut Sun. I might have to make a video about them. But yeah, it's going to be hard for her to succeed as a first or second option when there isn't pieces around her. When you drafted Camila Cardoso before her, basically prioritizing Cardoso more, and Angel Reese has proven that she's the better player than Camila Cardoso by far. It's not close in my opinion. And then with the thing that she said in the offseason, that she's got to figure out what she's going to be great at on offense, is that not a valid criticism? Obviously, Angel Reese has improved this year. Her field goal percentage is up by 5%. Her three-point percentage is up by 2%. Her free throw percentage up by 6%. Was once again an all-star rebound champ last year. Probably going to get it again this year. Averaging 14 points, 12 rebounds, and 3.7 assists. But is that not a valid criticism? Because every player, they have that go-to move that they have on offense. Whether it's in the NBA, whether it's in the WNBA. Every player has that go-to move that they have on offense. What is Angel Reese go-to? What is her signature? You know, DeMar DeRozan, he got the mid-range shot. That's all. That's his bread and butter. Steph, he got the threes. Halliburton, he got the playmaking. That's like Halliburton. He might give you 7 points, but if he dishing out 15 assists and he getting the win, it don't matter. The Pacers are going to accept that because they're winning games. He's a playoff riser. He did have a few games where he wasn't scoring much, but he was playmaking. He was dishing the ball. What is Angel Reese? What is her primary move? Even what is she really going to hone in on offense? She's got to figure out what she's going to be great at on offense. That is a valid criticism. I have no problem with that statement that she said in the offseason. That's a very valid criticism or critique, whatever you want to call it. And that's something that she'll grow into. This is only her second year in the W. Obviously, for Caitlin Clark, she got threes and she got the playmaking, so she excels at both. Obviously, the three-point percentage has went down a bit, but she's also been injured, so I won't go too hard on her. Like Nafisa Adria Wilson, she got the mid-range. So it's like, what is she going to have? Obviously, once the field goal percentage, like I said, is going up, will it be those easy paint touches? Will it be her developing more of a mid-range shot? Like, we're going to have to see. Obviously, she's only 2 years into the league, but I don't look at anything that she said as hate. I just think it was misinterpreted how she said it, but I don't think it was said in a rude way. I think people are just trying to make Candace Parker out to be the villain for no reason. And then even Lisa Leslie said that Angel Reese needs to work on her layup package. And Angel Reese asked for that criticism. She said, what's one way I can improve my game? She asked Lisa Leslie that, and she said, you need to work on your layup package. And she did that. Like I said, her field goal percentage is up by 5%. So it's like Candace Parker, she don't hate Angel Reese. She's not jealous of her. She's just trying to she's played in the W. She had a very great career. She's just trying to help Angel Reese. And Shaq saying not to say nothing about Angel Reese. Candace Parker ain't say nothing rude. She ain't say nothing crazy. She wasn't disrespectful. She's giving constructive criticism and critiques based off of what she sees as a former player in the W. And I'm not saying that every time a player says something that is right, but she's made some very valid points. You might disagree, but don't call it hate, because that's not what Candace Parker is doing. She's on her podcast. She's on her platform. She was asked to do that tier list on a different platform. So then she got to clear up that she shouldn't have to clear up if she's hating or not, because she's clearly not. Y'all just don't want to see it from that perspective. It's not jealousy. It's not hate. She's just trying to help. But leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment on what y'all think about the situation, and best of luck to Candace Parker on her podcast that she does. Might check it out. And best of luck to Angel Reese in her WNBA career.